What's up guys, it's the NJB here, and today I'm going to be talking about my opinions on the Modern Warfare beta. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First of all, let's talk about some of the changes they brought into the game that I like. The graphics are great and a welcome change to Call of Duty. They are changes I wanted to see. Personally, I wanted Call of Duty to take a more realistic look, not like Battlefield, but less cartoony. Also, the change to the firing mechanics, making them a projectile-based system, makes the game feel more real and gives a bit of a learning curve. I'm glad to see once again we have a fast time to kill, as opposed to Black Ops 4 having a long time to kill. Also, many of the streaks are fun to use and pretty powerful, but on some maps they can be ineffective, but for the most part all good. And for the last thing I want to say that I liked about this game so far, Ground War is a great addition that I will play a lot, and I liked it more than I thought I would initially, and I'll talk more on that later, since I think it needs more attention than just me saying just a bit about it. Now that I've talked about my positives about the game, let me talk about what I didn't like too much about the game, and there is a lot. First of all, I will admit, I was not having a good time with this game when I first started. In most games, I was struggling to go positive and maintain consistency, and 100% honesty, this is not only the hardest Call of Duty for me to get used to, but one of the hardest games to get used to in general, at least from a multiplayer standpoint. I have always been a player who plays aggressively and attacks, not just in COD but in other games, including FIFA, also in sports, and even when I play paintball, just to let you guys know how I am when I'm being competitive. But this game seems to punish me for playing that type of way. This caught me off guard at the start of the game, and it forced me to change how I play. I was only able to do fairly well when I stopped sprinting almost completely and stayed in the same area of the map for most of the game. Also, the lines of sight on all these maps are incredible. You can't walk anywhere without someone seeing you, and you for sure can't sprint in any open spaces. I knew prior to the beta that they said power positions were going to play a big role in this game, but it was a lot more than I thought it would, and it's kind of insane how big they are in this game. It seems like every map has power positions or large areas of the map that are never safe to go. You can look through a window and have a direct line of sight on other teams' spawns or domination flags. On Hackney Yard, you look out the window, you can spawn trap opponents, and on the same map, if you run down the middle, you'll probably get killed back down on the rooftop, on the second floor, or the second floor walkway. Also, there are always objects in corners behind a wall that allow for head glitching at when you climb on top of them. These issues are prevalent in all the maps, and I don't know for sure if this is done on purpose. Compared to other Call of Duties and even other shooters, the maps in this game are very strange. They don't seem to be well designed for any certain type of flow. Even Battlefield maps on Conquest seem to have better designs and even better spawns in many cases. And with that, now let's talk about spawns. For one, the spawning animation is just another delay to bring you back into the action. On top of that, for the duration of that animation, you can see players, including enemy players, running around the map. I used this tactic to get payback on the guy who killed me, and I guess I can assume that this tactic was also used on me too. I do not like this addition to COD, and I think it would be better suited for objective game modes, but not in TDM or Kill Confirmed or any mode that just mainly has you focus on getting kills, not playing the objective. But back to the spawns, you've probably been spawned on right behind somebody and got a free kill, or vice versa, or even been killed right off the rip because you were spawned in someone's line of sight. The spawn system in this game is horrible, and it also goes back to the poor map design as I mentioned above. Another major problem with the game is camping and head glitching. I already mentioned the game punishes you for rushing, and because of that, most average players don't move. Most people stay stationary and wait for you to come to them, and I don't see any way this is going to change throughout the life cycle of the game, even with the minimap. The only suggestion I would have would be to put up some walls and remove trash cans to reduce head glitching, and also patch some windows, but I doubt they'd do that. And as I said before, the problem with the spawns, the head glitching, the camping, and everything that I don't like about this game, it has to do with the map design. As I said before, I really don't know what they're going for with this game. The map design is horrible. It plays pretty much all the maps in this game play like, just think of all those Call of Duties with some big giant maps. I know Call of Duty Ghosts had some, I believe the map Stormfront and Stonehenge. Those are probably two of the worst maps that we've seen. Yeah, somehow people keep voting for them. But these maps had some ridiculous lines of sight and everyone would just camp. But I feel like even on those maps, I was able to do well and just figure out how people played. In this game, it seems very difficult, but either way, I don't know what we can do about it. And unless these are some of the worst maps we played in the game, and if the maps in the actual game are better, then we're gonna be in for a world of pain. Now, let's talk about Ground War, because it is one positive thing I took from the beta in the last weekend of the game, because I actually enjoyed it. I feel like Ground War plays like a good old first-person shooter. It reminds me of Battlefield Conquest and plays really well. I feel like all the experience I had from playing previous FPS came back to me at once when I played Ground War. I could flank, I could push, I could outgun people. It wasn't head glitching warfare like in multiplayer. I really enjoyed it, and I think I may start off playing it more than regular multiplayer. The only issue I had with Ground War is that I feel like the streaks are too easy to get compared to multiplayer, so I would suggest adding like 4 or more kills to each streak. But other than that, it's fun. But I'll admit, just like Battlefield, I cannot say I'll play it as often as I played previous CODs. Overall, I cannot say I'm a huge fan of this new Call of Duty. I feel betrayed in a way. I've always loved Infinity Ward games, and I supported them through COD GOs and Infinite Warfare, and they are my favorite CODs of this generation of game consoles. But this game feels like a slap in the face. It goes against everything I loved about Call of Duty and brings plenty of changes, many good like graphics and new mechanics that make the game feel more real, but ruin it with poor map design, which promotes a slow, campy style of play, which everyone knows that COD fans don't like and they hate. I think with all the hate that Infinity Ward got from their previous games, they felt the need to bring something new to the table, but by doing this, they changed the most important part of Call of Duty, which is the fast action, gun-to-gun action that everyone loves that isn't really there in other shooters. And for that, I honestly don't know how I feel about Call of Duty going forward. Usually, if I don't like a COD, I'd wait for the next one, or wait for the next studio to make it the way I like. But this is the third COD in a row which I have big issues with how it plays. So will I buy this game? Of course, I buy every COD that comes out. But will I play it as much? I can't say I will. So overall, those are my opinions about Modern Warfare so far. The game brought changes I wanted to see, like varying recoil patterns, better graphics, a modern setting, but those aspects are forgotten when the game feels more like a military patience simulator instead of a fun rushing COD. The gun-to-gun action is what's most important in COD. That's what has separated it from games like Battlefield and other shooters, and I'm not a fan of it in this game. But those are my opinions. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below about this game and basically about Call of Duty in general, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, mates.